Hey everyone, happy Friday. So, I'm not really going to talk about the news that much this week, mostly because I haven't been paying attention to it, but also because I kind of just want to talk about whatever. You know, this is supposed to be Friday Free Talk, so I'm just going to talk about whatever I've been doing lately. So, recently, the Cyberpunk 2077 update came out for next-gen consoles, and I decided to give that game another chance. Honestly, it's been pretty decent. I originally played Cyberpunk at launch on my Xbox One, and it was okay. I didn't have as many game-breaking bugs as maybe some other people did, but it was still kind of wonky. And once I saw that this update came out, I thought I'd give it another chance on the Series X. So, a couple of things. This world, Night City, is incredible looking. It is honestly one of the best looking games that I've seen on my Series X. And there's a lot of cool things to see and do here. It's nice listening to just the NPCs talk, or just kind of like looking at the flying cars going around, or all of the weird advertisements like hologram stuff up in the sky. Also, like a really small thing, but I like how if you're kind of near an NPC and they're talking, you can see like a little dialogue box like right above them, so you could like read their conversation. I don't know, it's kind of cool. But going away from like the visual stuff, the game still feels kind of wonky to me. I don't really know what it is exactly. Like, for example, the driving. The driving in this game doesn't really feel that smooth to me. And maybe I'm spoiled by Grand Theft Auto and Forza, but this game it feels like it's sluggish. Like, even if you're driving like pretty fast, you still feel slow. And I know that different cars have different attributes. Some drive better than others, but even from like ones that I've just like picked up on the streets, it doesn't really feel that good, or I don't know, that satisfying, if that makes sense. But it's not just the driving. I'd say also like the gunfights in this game, they feel weird, like they feel wrong. I know we like to poop on COD on this channel, but honestly, the FPS in that game it's so solid. Like, obviously that's a really polished first person shooter, and this is CD Projekt Red's like first person game or whatever, but it doesn't feel as good as like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield, or I don't know, even like Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim, where you have the option to go into first person, but you know, it's kind of built for third person. Cyberpunk just doesn't feel as smooth as that. That's something that I was really kind of hoping that they would add, or maybe they will still add in the future, is a third person option. Just like how GTA and Skyrim have that, I think that Cyberpunk would benefit from this massively. I mean, if you look at The Witcher 3, it's very obvious that they know what they're doing when making a third person game. And I appreciate them trying to go out and do something different by making a first person shooter, but I kind of wish they just would have stuck with their guns with this and really just made a super well polished, great Cyberpunk aesthetic game that's third person. Onto some good things though. V is a badass, and the voice acting is awesome. I like listening to all of the characters in this game. I think that all of them are pretty interesting, and honestly, I have not found a character yet where the voice acting was like cringy or just like bad. It's all like pretty solid. The AI isn't always like the best for some of these characters, but overall, I think the world does a pretty good job of feeling like it's actually lived in. The sound design in this game in general is also just like really top tier. If you've never driven around in the Badlands in your car, I would kind of recommend it, just because I don't know, just listening to like the gravel and like the dirt underneath the car, it sounds really good, and I don't know, kind of like aesthetic to me. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. Oh, and like one of the biggest things, Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silver is fantastic. He does a great performance and really brings something to the game that I think it would seriously be so much less of a game if Keanu Reeves was not in this. I want more Hollywood actors in video games. I know we've already had quite a few with like Jedi Fallen Order and the new Ark game or whatever that has Vin Diesel in it, but I think that there's still room to bring more people in. And I think that having these big name actors, it helps makes the argument stronger for video games being a legitimate art platform. Anyway, I digress a little. Is there still going to be a multiplayer update for this game? Does anyone know? I guess, would anyone actually still care to try it? I think it would be fun to run around Night City with like a friend or two, but I don't know if I don't know if even like that multiplayer update could still save this game to me, because like I said before, for all of the reasons earlier, it feels wonky and weird, and maybe my character just isn't leveled up enough, but I feel like even if my character is a low level, things shouldn't feel like this clunky. I don't know. I do think that this game is exponentially better now than what it was when it launched, but it's still, I don't know, it's still not the game that I was hoping it would be. Don't get me wrong, the game is beautiful looking. I mean, if one thing is for sure, this game knows what it wants to be. It has such a strong aesthetic, very Blade Runner-like, which I know the developers said was a huge inspiration for them. And I think they have done an incredible job in building this futuristic aesthetic. But when you look at the gameplay and some of the other stuff, it's just not there, I don't think. I don't know. I don't want CD Projekt Red to give up on this game, or even if this game's done, whatever, I don't want them to give up on this franchise that they could have in Night City. If there's one thing that they have proven with this, it's that they can build a world that is just great. I mean, it feels great. No, not all of the gameplay was really the best, and there was definitely some technical problems that they had. But there's still potential for Cyberpunk 2077. And maybe there'll be a spin-off or some sort of sequel, and I kind of hope that if they do that, they really give it the attention it deserves and don't rush it out. Maybe they'll keep updating this game and make it better, and I'll actually finish the story. But until then, this has been the Friday Free Talk. Thank you guys for listening. I always appreciate it. Have you guys been playing the new Cyberpunk update at all? Or what other games have you been playing? I appreciate you guys as always for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.